Welcome to class. Today we'll be doing a yin practice. So we'll be holding the poses anywhere from around 2 minutes to upwards of 5 minutes. I have with me a pillow today that I'll be using as a prop. And so we'll begin in butterfly position, in a comfortable seat. And we're not going to be holding our butterfly. We're going to be working towards taking our feet out. So go ahead and take your feet out. Then reach your arms behind you. Open up the chest a little bit here. So you're already starting to get this hip opening. Take a few breaths here. Deep into the belly and up. Before we start to settle in and then come up to sitting, still with your feet apart. You can have your hands resting on the ankles or the shins. We'll be sitting here for quite some time, so working the muscles in the back as well as the hips. Try to focus the mind on the breath. The mind starts to race. Think of your thoughts as clouds passing by. You see them, and then they vanish, moving away, leaving you with a clear mind. You can start to take one palm into the other, so you're not pulling on your ankles, or if you need that support, you can stay there. But having the hands free allows you to use your back muscles a little more, relax into the hips a little more. Make your inhales long and your exhales long. Focus on something other than your hips. Focus on the breath. Yield to what's going on here and just sit with it. You may start to feel some fatigue in the back. Breathe through it. You're doing great. These longer holds allow us to sit with what's going on, to be in the moment, to sit with the discomfort, to hold with stillness, to let it happen without trying to fix anything, just being there. Begin to slowly start to take your hands behind you, windshield wiper the knees to release the hips. Take any other movements that feel natural to you. We'll take our time as we move from one pose to the other, since we were holding for such a long time. This practice is a great one to do at the end of the day, since it's a lot of yielding and holding. From here, we'll start to make our way into our legs in front of us. I'm going to use a pillow here to rest my head on and start to just bend forward, coming to that place where you feel something. Not pulling, letting the spine round, the back round. Feeling this in the hamstrings and the back. And we hold here. Allowing the breath to deepen, your heart rate will naturally begin to slow down. Seeing if you can relax a little more with each breath that goes by. How can you make yourself more relaxed? Maybe your jaw's clenched. Maybe you notice your ears coming up toward your shoulders coming up toward your ears. See if you can soften. And remain here. Notice if you're uncomfortable in the stillness and the silence. Probably need more of this. Just try to enjoy it. Relax. Very slowly begin to make your way back up. Again, taking your time. That's why you're there for so long. Maybe coming up just 1 inch at a time. Taking a breath. Just take a moment to sit, maybe rolling the neck, taking some loops with the shoulders. Just listening to your body. Noticing what it needs. Maybe windshield wiper the knees again. If you do, try to tap both knees down. From here, we'll begin to come into child's pose. I'm going to use a pillow here as support. This might be helpful if your hips are feeling really tight. Knees apart, toes can touch or not. Just lay down. The first few breaths are for making adjustments, and then finding that position that you can just settle in to hold this for some time. This practice is different than any moving practice, even just deep stretch, because we hold for so long. It's best to do this if your muscles are cold. Think about quiet, cool and dark compared to other parts of your life that are moving, hot, electric, exciting. This is the balance. Notice the sensations you're feeling here in your inner thighs, maybe the hips. Just noticing and then breathing. You're almost through this. The body will be fragile when we start to move out of this. So when the time comes, take your time. Try not to rush out of it. Just as important coming out as it is coming in and even holding. So please move slowly when that time comes. Now begin to slowly make your way back up. Pause, sit your hips back on your heels, and just take a moment. Maybe circle the neck a little bit. Roll the shoulders or stay still. Even sitting here like this, you're doing something beneficial for your body. Opening the quads, straightening the spine, and breathing. A few more moments in between poses. We'll start to set up for pigeon with our legs at 90 degrees. So the right knee parallel to the top of the mat, and then bring the left palm over to the right knee, just twisting here for a moment. This is as far as we'll go here in this twist. Stretching through the hips as we do so. Long, deep breaths once again. Tall spine. And begin to come toward the center to fold over the right shin. This is called deer pose in Yin. It's different than our pigeon where we're having our left leg extended behind us. Targets more intense area in the right hip. this is too intense, you can come onto the palms. You don't have to bend over very far if that's better for you. Or if you need more, you can come down farther. Find a place that's good for you. Lingering within the sensations, being here with your breath. And begin to slowly start to come up, taking your time. Bring the legs in front of you. You can bounce the knees, even slap the thighs a little bit, rebounding. And we'll start to set up for the other side. So bring the left shin parallel to the top of the mat. Right leg behind you at 90 degrees. Bring the right arm up and then twist over to the left. Staying on tented fingers or flat palms with a tall spine. Again, this is as far as we'll go here. And prepare to start to come toward the center and make your way forward to your first point of resistance. You might be able to go farther on this side. One side will be easier than the other. Keep breathing. Notice the sensations you're feeling in the left side. And then begin to slowly start to come back up. Release the legs in front of you. Bounce the knees up and down or slap the thighs. Maybe take the palms behind you to open the chest. And then begin to come into tabletop. Linger here, moving the hips from one side to the other a few times. Next, we'll begin to lower all the way down to our bellies to come into Sphinx pose. Take the elbows under the shoulders. Relax through the head. If you have a block here, you can place the block underneath to rest your head on. Or you can stay right where you are. So we take some movements here to settle in, to find that place where we can begin to come into stillness. If you need to look over one shoulder and the other a few times, you can do that. Circle out the head, relieve the neck, and then settle in. Press into the tops of the feet. Engage in the belly. Feel the back opening, as well as the abdomen. The shoulders begin to get tired. Keep drawing the elbows back, like you're going to pull the mat back toward you. This is a pose that we return to often, especially in Yin Yoga. Especially after bending forward a lot. The back moves in the opposite direction in this pose. We're almost through this. Steady the breath. Refocus the mind if it's wandering. For the last part of this, you can stay where you are or lift up onto the palms into seal, straightening the arms. If you're doing this, notice if your shoulders are creeping very far up toward the ears, try to relax them. If this pinches the lower back, move back down to the elbows. And then slowly start to lower down. We'll begin to rest the right cheek on the mat or the ground. As we linger here, might not feel like you're doing a lot, but you're working on your mobility in the neck, opening up through the whole body, creating a twist. Feel your body become heavy. Feel yourself, the weight of yourself laying on the ground. And then begin to lift the head. And take your left cheek over. Doing the same thing on the other side this time. Again, feeling the weight of the body here on the ground. Maybe even trying to work the left ear closer to the ground if you can. And slowly begin to come back toward the center and just let the forehead rest on the ground. Bringing the neck back to neutral. Then slowly start to make your way all the way onto your back. Let the legs become heavy, the arms become heavy, slightly away from the body in your Shavasana. Stay here as long as you can, enjoying the benefits of your practice. Thank you so much. See you soon. Namaste.